Honestly, I like the sequel better. Um, Maybe even the first movie better than this one. I don't think it's terrible, but it just didn't entertain me that much. There was two kills that were pretty good. Um, there's one very crazy kill that people hyped up online with the one guy that's friends with Jonathan that gets killed. But I don't think it was all too special. Um, Ironically enough, in that scene after he kills him, they have somebody um, with an original song for Art the Clown that talks about how art's just getting started, which I think is very ironic because this is three movies in, technically four if you want to count All Hallows Eve. Not to mention, at the point when they play this song, we're an hour and a half into the movie and there's only a half an hour left. How is art just getting started? um, Brooke shows up for one scene in very messy gore. Um, I didn't really care for that scene. I guess it's to show Sienna's understandable trauma, but it didn't really do that much for me. Maybe if she was in a few more scenes, but she's just in that one scene and then that's it. Um, Sienna's trauma is mainly used as a plot device, if anything, because she actually sees Art the Clown in the store at one point, but he's in like a disguise. He's wearing like a Santa outfit with like a Santa mask on. And because of that, she thinks that she might be hallucinating and that he might not actually be there. I believe that's like the only two scenes in the movie. It's her hallucinating her dead friend and then her actually seeing Art the Clown and believing that he's a hallucination. I think that's just lazy writing in my opinion. Not to mention that he wears that weird Santa mask only in that scene. He doesn't I don't remember him taking it off or anything. When he goes and kills those kids and stuff. I think they just did that to make it look like Cena was hallucinating and he might not actually be there. Which just kind of lazy in my opinion. Um, One thing I thought was funny was the subtitles start referring to him as Clowny throughout the movie after the scene with the guy that calls him Clowny. Like after that scene, like the subtitles will say Clowny. Um, I do like Sienna in this movie. I think she's pretty good. I don't remember caring for her all too much in the sequel, though I really like that movie. I don't remember her doing that much for me, but I really enjoyed her in this movie, though she doesn't get to do that much. This movie also really sidelines art. It follows Vicky a lot more. I think that she gets to be the star of the show for the majority of the movie. Um, Not to mention, and the big scene, I think kind of ruins it. I think the best part about Art the Clown is the fact that he can't talk and he is a mime and you have to rely on his facial expressions to see how he's feeling. And even then, you don't know what he's really feeling a lot of the time. But then when we get to the final scene of the movie, um, it's Vicky hamming it up. Like, she's not doing a bad performance, but for a Terrfier movie, it feels like she's hamming it up. She's talking about how she's going to do this and that, and she's just giving, like, a villain speech a little bit. Not a lot, but she's talking about how she's going to kill people and stuff. I think the thing that bothered me was seeing a villain in the Terrfier movies talking. It really bothered me. Um, it just doesn't feel natural. And I think it would be a much better scene if it was just Art there not talking. But Vicky eventually does end up getting killed, and Art the Clown ends up being, the person that they have the standoff with in the end of the movie. Clint Howard is also here, who's been in a few horror movies that I've seen. I didn't realize that he was in Three from Hell. He's the poor clown that gets harassed by Otis in Three from Hell. But yeah, I think it was really cool that he got to be in this movie. It's a shame, though, that he got arguably one of the most off screen deaths in a Terrfier movie. Everybody in that scene that gets killed got a better kill than him. They got the first guy who gets shot in the neck, and then he's bleeding out and he's holding his throat on the floor. And it's a very sudden kill, and I think it's a pretty good kill. And then, of course, the Santa guy getting killed is an insane kill, and it's a very drug out kill. Meanwhile, Clint Howard's character gets shot in the head, and they don't even show him getting shot in the head. They show the aftermath of him on the ground with a bullet hole in his head. Jonathan also gets killed off screen in this movie for some reason. Major part of Terrfier 2. He gets some character development. Seems like somewhat of a better person. Just for him to get off screen in this movie and to not have that big of a role. I think like the last major scene we saw of him before he dies was him getting upset because of Sienna's hallucinations and then breaking a bunch of stuff because he thought she was going crazy. And then the next scene we see him, he's on the phone and Sienna's like, I'm gonna come get you, and then he's just dead. They show his skull and put some glasses on it, and they're like, yeah, he's dead. Art the Clown kills a lot of kids in this movie. He kills one kid in the beginning of the movie, and it's implied he might have killed the other. And then, of course, there's the mall scene where he kills a bunch of kids with explosions. I believe he actually killed kids in All Hallows Eve, though, because I'm pretty sure that movie was people watching VHS tapes, and it was a babysitter babysitting kids. And then they end up getting killed by Art or something. Like I said, it's been a while since I've seen All Hallows Eve, and it was a one-time watch when, meanwhile, Terrfier 1 I had seen 2 or 3 times. It's the only Terrfier movie that I've watched more than once. This movie, it wasn't as good as I thought it'd be. The movie ends with a reference to the original Art the Clown in the Knife Circle short, with the girl reading that book and Art riding a bus. Overall, I thought it was a decent movie. I'm not gonna lie, I think I wasted my money buying it on DVD, though. It ended up on streaming the very next day, so that kind of sucks.